And now we move on to the all-important US Open that has given us the champions of both the men's side and women's side as well. To discuss it further in studios, we've been joined by sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, Ali. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I'm very well, thank you.
Right, Ali, let's first talk about Aryna Sabalenka. I mean, just a dream run continues for her at the US Open.
It was absolutely fantastic. This is her fourth Grand Slam. Second, she actually managed to defend her US Open title after beating Jessica Pegula last year. She was absolutely phenomenal. She had a fantastic tournament. She drifted through the tournament. She had a bit of a test against Jessica Pegula in that semi-final where she had to work extremely hard. But in this match, she was more confident. She was hitting her ground stroke. She wasn't making that many errors and forced the errors out of the American Amanda Animisova. I mean, Amanda actually made the Wimbledon final, and this year you'd think that she would do better. But she got off to a very good start. She was leading in that first set, but after that, she had problems, while serving. During the ball toss, she was looking up at the lights, and she said she couldn't see the ball properly, and the lights were actually bothering her eyes, and she lost her attention, lost her focus. And because the fact of the matter is that she couldn't handle the situation, the whole situation as being the home favorite and the American over there, Sabalenka took full advantage, and with those powerful ground strokes showed that she deserved to win a second US Open title.
Well, I think I expected more personally from Anisimova, Ali Mehdi. I think this is not the first time she's been able to have a tournament trophy in her grasps and she's let it go. I think she only has herself to blame.
No, I completely agreed. She was actually playing very well. She got off to a fast start. She got broken, and then she double broke Sabalenka too. So I thought she was going to run away with that first set. But then she had problems with that ball toss too. She couldn't control her ground strokes, making too many errors, being unpredictable, but making those unforced errors, going for those winners. But unfortunately, the ball drifting through. You have to have that mental composure. You have to have the tenacity to make sure that you're accurate with your ground strokes. But she didn't do that. She didn't come to the net, and her serves were, but iffy. She didn't really, she had a low first serve percentage, and if you have a low first serve percentage in a big final, then you're not going to win. Sabalenka showed that, when she knew how to handle the situation, she kept herself in check. I mean, let's not forget in the French Open, in the Roland Garros final against Coco Gauff, she lost herself, and, she got very emotional, and she couldn't handle the situation. This time, she kept her composure and showed that when it comes to the hard courts, or whether it should be Rod Laver Arena in Australia, in Melbourne, or should it be at Billie Jean King Arena, Arthur Ashe Arena, she is the one to beat.
Well, Ali Mehdi, now we come to the men's side. I think it was once again something that we had already witnessed in history, but what a true intensity final that we witnessed at the US Open men's side.
We are being spoiled for choice. We talk about the times when we had the great Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Djokovic, and even Murray, and you can add the Wawrinka to that mix. But there was a time there was a void, but now you have this incredible rivalry, the best two players in the world playing their third straight Grand Slam final, and it was one apiece. This Alcaraz winning at Roland Garros, in that 5-set thriller, and then Sinner destroying Alcaraz, beating him in 4 sets in Wimbledon final. Something had to give, and in this final, going into this final, it was actually Alcaraz who had the upper hand. He hadn't dropped a single set going into this final. We beat the 24-time Grand Slam champion and 4-time champion, US Open champion in Djokovic. So he was in the ascendancy. Jannik Sinner on the other side, on the other hand, he looked tired. He was actually slightly injured. Obviously, let's not forget in Cincinnati he was injured. He couldn't complete that final. Then again over here too. But in this final, if you look at the final itself, it was a very predictable performance from Sinner. Sinner is very accurate, yes, but you have to be unpredictable. You have to go for winners. You have to actually change up, make it difficult for your opponent. Sinner didn't do that, and Alcaraz took his opportunities. He was high on confidence. He went for winners. He was very unpredictable and made it very difficult for Sinner.
He came from a strong semi-final win against Novak Djokovic. I think that really, puts the perspective straight ahead as well.
No, that gave an incredible amount of confidence. Let's not forget he lost to the Djokovic earlier this year at the Australian Open and in the Olympics last year. So he was really wanted revenge. Because of that win, that gave him so much confidence that going into this final, he said that the only one who is to blame and the only one he had to beat was himself, and he played so well, you know, going for those ground strokes, serving so much with so much power, enjoying, you know, not overawed by the situation, you know, the crowd supporting him too. I mean, he really enjoyed the situation and the crowd too, and the whole occasion that, you know, I just thought that there was only one win, and that was Carlos Alcaraz.
Well, certainly. Any words of wisdom for Novak Djokovic?
That's a very good question. I think just retire. I'm sorry, you know, as much as I think a great champion, he's obviously caused us a lot of pain being Federer fans and obviously Nadal fans. But look, I think he should just retire on a high too, you know. He's obviously, I don't understand why he wants to play beyond this year, Ahmad, because he knows that Sinner and Alcaraz are way ahead of him. They've got much more energy. They're the world number 1 and 2, and he's past his peak. So what does he have to prove? I mean, he obviously wants to equal that record of Federer at US Open and in Wimbledon. You're not going to do it with Alcaraz and Sinner there. It's not going to happen. So you might as well retire, but only time will tell.
Well, certainly. Thank you very much, Ali Mehdi, for joining us. That wraps up Sports Extra. From me and my entire team, it's goodbye for now.